Hi, and welcome to MHA Foundation. I'm Jennifer Smith, and I'm here today with Gail Wade from Marin County Middle School. Hi, Gail.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good to see you again. So, tell us a little bit what your position is at the middle school. Introduce yourself so our friends out in the audience know exactly who you are.
So, I am a student intervention specialist at the middle school, which basically means that I assist kids academically, take care of scheduling, making sure everybody's placed where they need to be
Sure.
academically.
Perfect. That's a very important
It's
role.
my first year in the job, so
Yes.
I absolutely love it.
That's awesome.
Absolutely love it.
I love to hear that. That's great. So, we're here today to talk about the Honors Banquet specifically. Give us some insight as to the purpose, the history. What is the RCMS Honors Banquet?
Okay, so the RCMS Honors Banquet is, I think, my favorite time of the year. It's a time where the teachers at the middle school get to pick a student that they want to honor.
Is this academic related?
It can be, but really the criteria is very broad. It's open to the teacher. Sometimes it could be behavioral. Sometimes it could just, like for, the PE or the art teacher or the choir teacher, it could be something that they just have a student that's very stand out
Yeah.
in that area and really pushes them, to do well.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, there's no necessarily grade thing. It's just whatever criteria that teacher identifies.
So, it could even be something like personal development or growth or
Oh yeah,
that type of
absolutely.
thing. Okay.
Absolutely. So, for me when I was teaching, I chose, students who really excelled in our speech and debate program. And that was kind of my criteria, those kids who stood out for me. The RCMS Honors Banquet started about 9 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And to be able to fund it, because we have a dinner, we have a presentation where the teachers bring the students up to the front and they talk to them and talk to the audience about them. Started about 9 years ago, and trying to fund it was all in-house through like bake sales and stuff. And it just so happened that at that first RCMS banquet, we had an MHA board member there. And so, I think, they recognized the value of that evening and brought it forth, to be funded in the future.
Sure.
So, yeah, so I mean, it's a great investment for me, great investment in the community, especially as, parent involvement and recognizing what's special about their children.
Absolutely. In full disclosure, I have been to several of these banquets, and they are so heartwarming. Because a lot of times, what I perceive, a lot of the kids that are getting honored are not the ones that are used to being honored. They're the ones that perhaps maybe fly below the radar in other areas that are a little bit more typical of accolades, if you will. And it is so amazing to see those kids get the emotional boost of being honored in front of their peers. And that can change a life.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Because, as a school, we're obviously, academic institution.
Sure.
But we also try to teach, and instruct to the whole kid.
Absolutely.
And that includes the artistic, the athletic, the creative. So recognizing the full spectrum of what these kids have.
Absolutely.
I think that is my favorite. And it's always fun to see which teachers pick which student. Yeah, because sometimes there's like some surprises in there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, that's interesting.
And the way they honor them is unique too, because each teacher gets to kind of put their own spin on it, right?
Absolutely. So there is kind of a opportunity to be kind of lighthearted and playful up on the stage, because it's kind of awkward for the student to be up there on stage
yeah.
while the teacher is like gushing about him and telling him,
Absolutely. Middle school?
Yeah,
Yes.
very much so. And so teachers can be very creative
Yes.
in how they do their presentations. I know, like the art teacher, he would present the artwork that for the student, that he chose. When I presented one of my students, I presented it in the form of a debate case, as if I were making the argument as to why she should be honored.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, it is super fun, and the parents are there, and you get to, the teachers get to sit down with the students and the parents and have a conversation and really get to know, that kid. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
So if
so
there,
fun.
from all of the banquets that you've been to, is there one highlight that you'd like to share with the community?
Yes, and that was the one that I did not attend. And that I had contracted COVID, and so I wasn't unable to attend.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So, Mrs. Creighton, another teacher, went to go present for me, and she wound up having the student read my speech.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he's reading about himself to himself, and it was great. I was able to
Did you get to
watch
see a
video.
video?
Yeah,
Okay,
watch video of it later on. But that must have been super awkward for him. But even now, I think he's probably a junior now, and we still talk about that. And,
I bet he'll never forget it though.
yeah,
what an
I that's something I did not experience, and I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Just because it was just kind of a fun thing, and obviously sometimes when you get up there and talking about, teachers do get emotional. And
Oh, yeah.
they start crying. I always like that, because it's it comes from an earnest place.
Absolutely.
Where you do care, and so.
Leaving the state testing behind and leaving all of the typical stuff behind and just focusing on the people that we're working with.
Right, these little human lives.
Yeah, that you get to help mold.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Gail, thank you so much for all
thank
that you
you.
do. Thank you for your heart and for continuing this amazing, just tradition for these kids. Thanks for seeing them as whole people that we're shaping, and not just academians, because they really are. Someday they're going to be grandmas and grandpas. They're going to be teachers and doctors. They're going to be leaders in our community.
Yeah.
And you guys get to have a really big role in helping form those people. So
Oh, thank you. I
thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Absolutely.